Other news now. In Libya, Colonel Gaddafi's forces have gained more ground, retaking rebel-held cities. Major world powers have so far dismissed imposing a no-fly zone over the conflict-stricken country. The issue is still to be discussed by the UN. Paula Sleer is in the capital, Tripoli.
Gaddafi's forces have broken through the last major line of resistance before the town of Benghazi, which is the heart of the rebel stronghold. On Tuesday, in a massive land and air assault, Gaddafi's forces took over the town of Ajdabiya, which is just some 150 kilometers away from Benghazi. What this means is that Gaddafi's forces are now in full control of the coastal strip between these two towns. You need to remember that it was only 10 days ago that rebel forces had control of almost half this country. They were in control in the east, and they also had control of several cities in the west. Now, Gaddafi's forces have managed to reclaim most of that land. They certainly have reclaimed all the cities in the west, except for Misrata. In the closing statement of the G8 ministers' meeting in Paris on Tuesday, there was no mention of a no-fly zone. Britain and France remain at the forefront of calling for it to be implemented over Libya, while there are several countries, including the United States, Germany, Russia and China, which has veto power at the UN Security Council. They are opposed to it. Now, representatives from France, Britain and Lebanon acting on behalf of the Arab League, who met on Saturday in Cairo, they have called and endorsed a no-fly zone. Those representatives have drafted a United Nations resolution calling for it to be implemented. That discussion was held behind closed doors on Tuesday. Speaking after that UN Security Council meeting, the British representative said that there had been a lot of discussion, and he did admit that there were divisions. He said that a lot of questions were still being asked, questions such as how would it be implemented, who would be participating in it. That discussion will continue today, Wednesday. Now, essentially, the draft resolution is looking for a ban on all flights over Libyan airspace, excluding humanitarian aid missions. It also calls for the strict implementation of arms embargoes adopted in Resolution 1970 2 weeks ago. At the same time, it also calls for the prevention of foreign mercenaries from being able to enter Libya. The whole goal of this draft resolution for a no-fly zone is to try and protect the lives of civilians. But many people here feel that if indeed it is approved, it will be too much, too late, too little, too late, and also it will open the door possibly for an excuse for future foreign intervention.